So, random character for OVA. We're gonna see if we can make a villain or a companion for our Bishy ghost hunter that has a fear of the supernatural. So, just sort of flesh out the cast of characters for that one. And I also actually showed the first video in this series to Clay. Well, I didn't explicitly show it to him. I posted it on the forums for OVA, and he saw it, and he thought it was actually pretty interesting to see a character just sort of randomly come up. And he said that perhaps I should update the sheet so that instead of using a polyhedral set, it uses the dice native to the game, which is just d6s, and, well, I did precisely that. And I also updated it so that it would have the same sort of look as the Ryuutama sheets I did about two videos back, or 2 months back, I should say. Or is it 3 at this point? I don't know, I'm not good at math. Anyways, so, bam, there we go. I ended up including a nice little neat instruction sheet for this, since, well, you'll see in just a moment. It's a little hard to read, but basically it's going to be using 3 dice. The first one, when you're determining abilities, you're going to be looking for even or odd, and after that, you're going to be choosing this one to figure out what chart you're looking on, and this final one is going to be for what you're actually getting on that chart. And just sort of the mnemonic for how we're going to interpret this is RGB, the colors on the additive light spectrum as they're usually presented. Red, green, blue. Or hexadecimal if you're using web colors. So, anywho, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and just roll 3d6, and that's going to be how many weaknesses and abilities that we're going to give this character, because we always want to zero-sum it out. So you can effectively use so you can now effectively use a d6 for everything in this with this chart. And we're going to go in for 7 abilities. So this is probably going to be another companion to our Bishy Ghost Hunter. And the ability charts. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get... Well, that's not... I don't want to use a pencil. I want to use a marker so you guys can see it better. There we go. There's my marker. We're going to need 7 abilities. Alright, so let's go ahead and roll for it. So that's that R, G, B. So we're going to be looking for odds for the abilities first. We're going to be going on to chart 5. So 05, which the 5 is where a lot of the more powerful abilities are. The ones I just sort of at a glance thought were more overpowered. And, oh, we get to choose which one he has that's odd. Well, you know what? I'm not really interested in combing over all the abilities and trying to figure out what's what, so we're just going to roll again instead. My choice is re-roll everything. Alright, so R, B, G, RGB. So we're going to be looking for evens, number 3. And right here we got evens 3 and tough. So this character's going to be tough. And we're going to roll a d6 to figure out how tough he is. Again, nothing going over 3, but with this method, using just d6s, you could feasibly do skills or abilities up to level 5 if you wanted. Just re-roll any 6s, but we're going to use a d6 as a d3. And for that, we divide by 2 and round up. So he's got toughness at 2. Alright, so we still got 5 more abilities. We still got 5 more to choose. 5 more levels. Alright, so R, G, no, R, B, G, RGB. So even 5, 5. So we're just going to re-roll on the even chart. We're going to keep that. That was E5, 5. RGB. So 1, 5. Life support. Life support? Alright, yeah, we're going to have to do a post-mortem dump of this because I don't remember what life support is. But vaguely I can remember that it is just sort of, there's one environment he's able to survive in, or perhaps he's just, I don't know, sort of, and there goes the red die. One moment. Alright, 5. So That's going to be 3, so whatever life support is, he's really good at that, surviving in strange environments. And we only got 2 more levels left, so this is going to be a rather simple character. So, RGB. So, odd 2, number 4. There's only 3 charts for abilities, so it's pretty easy. So, odd 2, 4. Spirit medium. So, much like our protagonist, he is a spirit medium. And what level of spirit medium is he? 1. So he's not as good at it. Alright, so now let's go ahead and figure out... Oh, no, wait, hold on. That only adds up to 6. He gets 1 more ability. And if he just so happens to roll up for a higher level than 1 on this, if you wanted to, we could just give him more than he would normally get. Or we could instead just decide to cap this one out at 1. It's up to it's ultimately up to your GM or you, the player. Anywho, so RGB, even 4, 5. Well, odd 4, 5. Excuse me. So odd 4, 5. Not sure if you can see it. There we go. Not full things in view. Odd 4, 5. Quick. So he's he's fast and tough, and whatever life support is. So let's also just go ahead and roll for how much he gets that 2. So he gets quick at 2. Alright, so we actually have a total of 8 with this. Let's go ahead and even it out with the sum of weaknesses for him. Weakness charts are a little different. You're going to use a D3 at the beginning of them. And there's a total of 4 of them. 4. Yes, 4. Because there's some really ridiculous stuff that happens towards the end of it. But, anywho. Weakness charts, and so R, G, B. So we're going to go with 2, 3, 4. Let's see, there's 2, there's 3, 4. He's kind of rude. And just how rude is he? He's a little rude. Rude at 2. And roll again. And once again, I'm going to put a link for these charts in the description, so if you want to follow along, because my lighting situation sucks, as light is the bane of my existence, I swear to God. Anywho, 6. 6 is where the... Wait, no, 3. 3 is where the weird stuff... Oh, no, not quite. 3, 2, 1. So 3, 2, 1. Pacifist. Alright, so he doesn't like to fight. He's rude, but he doesn't like to fight. More likely to hurl insults than stones. And let's just see how much of a pacifist he is. Only 1. So, if you get him really angry, he'll probably resort to slapping you upside the head. Alright, so 1, 4, 3. 1, 4, 3. Kind-hearted. So he's a jackass with a heart of gold. He's mean, but he doesn't really mean anything by it. But only at level 1. So he's more mean than nice. A tsundere, if you will. Alright, so now we just need 3 levels of weakness left. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 1, 3. Soft spot. He has a soft spot for something. Which I'll come up with that in the post-mortem. I'm going to need a moment to figure out what the heck all this means, and then I'll get back to you on that. And that was entirely too much, actually. And I also lost my red die. I only needed to figure out what level of soft spot he had, which is 2. Okay, so we get 1 more weakness for him. Right, now, is it 1 more weakness? Yeah. So that's 6. So we still have room for more weaknesses. Alright, so let's get probably 1 or 2 more weaknesses for him. So 3 RGB. So 3, that's 2, 4, 3. I'm starting to, there might be a little bit of probable bias in my dice, because I haven't gotten any of the 3 charts yet, but, so 2, 4, 3. Since we're using this as a D3, round 2, divide by 2, round up. So 2, 4, 3, airheaded. Airheaded at 2. Alright. So airheaded at 2. 2? Yes, 2. And that concludes our character's weaknesses and abilities. So they're tough, they have life support for what that's worth. And they are also a spirit medium, and they are quick. They're rude, pacifistic, but kind-hearted with a soft spot, and they're kind of dumb. So I'm going to go ahead and look up some of this and see if I can come up with a schema for this list of abilities that makes sense, and I will get back to you. And I will get back to you on that in just a moment. Alright, so after a quick perusal of the rulebook, I've decided that I figured out what life support is, and I've decided that I know what this character is. This character is an animated skeleton, because at life support level 3, there's a lot of different environments that normal humans simply couldn't survive in, and there's really not a whole lot that they need to survive at that point. So, life support 3, you know what would be perfect for a supernatural anime for the anime? A skeleton, an animate skeleton that is going to be our sort of the sidekick or mascot character for our hero. And he's rude because he's been dead for a long time. A lot of social manners just sort of they escape him now. And kind-hearted, well, he doesn't really need anything, so why would he need to worry about stuff and things, whatever, who cares. And pacifist, he's not even skin and bone, he's just bone. Fighting is something he isn't good at doing, and so he's not gonna do it. And that also sort of plays into kind-hearted a little bit. And soft spot is something that he just enjoys way too much. We're gonna say it's dogs. He loves dogs a lot. Doggos. And airheaded, he's airheaded because he's a bonehead. And he has the spirit medium ability, much like our protagonist, because he's, well, kind of walking in the other world as well, since he's supposed to be dead, which explains why he's tough and quick. He's bone. Bones are kind of tough. I've broken a few bones in my life, but there's a lot of situations where I should have broken bones but haven't. So bones are pretty tough, yeah. Which also sort of feeds into the life support thing as well, being an animate skeleton. And quick, he doesn't have like all those internal organs weighing him down like the rest of us do. So yeah, there we go. We have a sort of a mascot character that follows around our protagonist. An animate skeleton of indeterminate gender, I might add. Doesn't really have, not really apparently male or female, because it's a goddamn skeleton. So, anyways, with all that said, I am Aaron Shadle, and I will see you all next time. And I got brain damage. I don't ever know how to end these things.